Good morning and welcome to Hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to seven, and the creator of what is going to be the number one most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Today is Friday. That's right. Everybody loves a Friday, right? Which camera? I got to move these cameras around. We got cameras going all over the place. I feel like I'm looking sideways at you. There you are. Today is Friday, September 20th, 2019. That's right. Friday, September 20th, 2019. And what's crazy is today is the very first, and I mean the very first and very last time it will ever be Friday, September 20th, 2019. You know what that means? That means we need to make the absolute most, and I mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. I'm prepared to do that, and hopefully by the end of this show, you're going to be prepared to do that too, because today I got some absolute fire for you. That's what I love about Fridays. Fridays is my opportunity to serve you in a unique and different way by bringing in amazing human beings from all over the planet. Today we got my man Judge Graham that's going to be joining us. This dude is an expert, when I mean expert, in business, marketing, speaking, etc. I was talking to him yesterday. He's got a title like for everything, dude. He's like the judge. He's an expert. He's a speaker. He's an author. He's a business specialist. He's a marketer. Like slash. This dude is amazing. But most importantly, he's just one powerfully humble human being who came from nothing and now he's killing it. So I can't wait for you to be able to get to see him. And I'm going to bring him in just a second. I am. But first, I have to inform you of something super cool starting tomorrow at 7 p.m. Hashtag Rise and Grind presents the second ever Facebook Live-a-thon. Now, Facebook Live-a-thon, for those of you that don't know, that means for 24 straight hours, there will be someone somewhere in the world that is going live to raise money for Rescue One Global. Now, Rescue One Global is an organization, dude. There are some bad things that are going on out there as far as human slavery, sex trafficking, young men and women that are being kidnapped, that are being sold into slavery all around the world to be used and abused in the most horrific ways you could possibly imagine. And Rescue One Global actually goes to these places, puts themselves in these dangerous situations, saves these women and men. They save their lives. And then they put them in housing. They help them get jobs. They help them get redemption. They help them get their life back. And so we have an opportunity, or I should say they have an opportunity, to get a grant from the U.S. government. And the way this grant works is if they can raise $100,000 by October 1st, the U.S. government's going to give them $300,000 on top. You have no idea how many lives will be saved if Rescue One Global gets $400,000 in their pocket. So what we're going to do is we're going to go live all day starting at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, going till 7 p.m. on Sunday. We've got hitters. Judge Graham's going to be live. We got Danelle Delgado's going to be live. Lisa Copeland, Shaka Dyson, my man Sean Hayes, Steve Spray, and many more. Jonathan Dawson, Melissa Burrow. I mean, it's going to be insane. It's going to be beautiful. So make sure you got your Facebook pulled up tomorrow between 7 p.m. all the way through Sunday at 7 p.m. Help us out by hitting the share button. Help us out by donating a couple bucks. Help us out in every way humanly possible. We're going to make an impact on this planet. It's going to be stinking awesome. Hope you're ready for that. I also want to let you guys know, I didn't put that slide up in there, but that's all right. I just announced and just launched, I am going to be working with 20 dealers. That's right, only 20 dealers. I have an opportunity to serve 20 dealers around this country in a unique and amazing way. I'm going to take technology. I'm going to use cameras. I'm going to use Facebook private groups. And I'm going to take 20 dealers and I'm going to help them grow massively in 2020. I want you to be one of them. I've got 10 signed up right now. I have 10 slots left. We're talking weekly training every week. Tuesdays, we'll have training. We're talking Saturday morning sales meeting that I'm going to drop in for you every single month so that you can share that with your employees and share that in your store. I'm talking access to my production team, my videographers, my media team. You're going to have direct access to all of that. And most importantly, you and I are going to be able to work one-on-one together to help you grow your store. So if you're in the car business and you're interested in growing 800% in 5 years, then shoot a message out to me. Let's put this thing together. Now that's enough of all that. I know you guys want to meet Judge Graham. I know you do. But first, you know what we got to do. Let's dance. That's right. Yep, I can feel that this morning. That's what I'm talking about. For those of you that know, and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button. I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And one way that you can change the way somebody starts their day is to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where I'm going to say good morning to you. You're going to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say good morning. And I'll say, what's up? I'm going to go back. I'm going to say good morning to all y'all. What's up, John Calton Bourne? How you doing, Emily Goffler, Vicki Everett, Eric Willeroy, Liza Myers-Borges? What's up, Jeremy Melding? How you doing, Jennifer Jaskell and Mike Stevens? Jeff Baker's in the house. Sarah Ball and, of course, Josh. What's up, Natalie Phillips? Natalie Phillips is going to be part of the Facebook Live-a-thon. What's up, Laura Berman, Pam Diddle, Dana Hughes, Julie Lentini, Christopher Campbell, Valerie Christine, Eric Burns, Janelle Griego, Mike Rockway. Oh my gosh. You guys are lit in here today. What's up, Jesse Miller, Melissa Young-Klein, Gail B. Craft, Rick Tamburino, Beth Lucchese. That's right. I love that name. What's up, Mike Hubbard, Whitney Wells, Tony Thorstad. My goodness. Everybody's up in here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Dude, are y'all ready for this? I hope you're ready for this. In all seriousness, the best way that we can honor our guests that join us here on hashtag Rise and Grind is hit that share button. So if you haven't done so already, Terry LaPierre, I'm not calling you out. I just saw your name, wanted to say good morning. But if you haven't done so already, hit the share button because here is the one, the only, my man, Mr. Judge Graham. Judge, what's up?
What? I don't even know what I can bring now after that.
You know how we do here, 5:30
Man, rise and grind. 4:39 my time, man. I'm ready for this. Let's do it, baby.
4:39. Before I get too far, I always like to make sure on the live there's a little bit of a delay. So I always like to make sure on the live that your sound is coming through, which I believe it is, because I don't want to dive too deep and have you be dropping all kinds of wisdom and knowledge, and they can't hear you on here. So let me make sure. Here we go.
I don't even know.
Oh, I hear you loud and clear, dude. I hear you loud and clear. I love it. I love it when things work the way they're supposed to work, don't you?
Yeah, we had an audible this morning too, so that's good.
We did have an audible right before you're like, dude, 2 minutes till live, and I'm like a frozen, I'm like a slideshow over here instead of a video, right? Dude, Judge, you're everywhere, man. You're everywhere right now. Like everywhere I go, I keep turning around. I'm like, boom, Judge Graham. Boom, Judge Graham. You're doing a workshop. You got pictures of you, and there's people like buying your books in the airports, and your books are everywhere. They're in bookstores all over the place, and New York Times, and you're this and you're that. And you're with Matt Monero and all these other people. Dude, what is going on in your world, man?
Man, we're changing the face of small business forever. There's no manual, there's no guide, there's no, academic way to figure out how do you grow a small business, right, Glenn? I mean, most entrepreneurs jump into business because they're fed up with something, they're chasing a passion, and they get into it and they make a little bit of money, and they start making a little bit of money, and what happens is they get on the hamster wheel, right? And what happens when you get on the hamster wheel is you sacrifice time, you lose years. It's not as glorified as you thought it was. And that business starts to steal from you. It starts to steal from your health, from your life, from your family. And Matt and I are fixing that. we want to teach small business owners that there is a better way than chaos, that the stress of making payroll can be alleviated, that you can build a platform and a structure that really gives you true scale, and more importantly, gives you the ability to have a major exit, right? So we're teaching real stuff that's not theory on how to build and scale and implement businesses, not just mindset, all tactics, proven frameworks to make things happen.
I see that, man. I see that. And you are really affecting change in people, right? You're affecting change. You're helping them to create a lifestyle that their business is included, not necessarily one that the lifestyle has to be sacrificed and jeopardized in order for them to be in business. We're going to dive into that a little bit more. And Judge, just to be clear with those of you that are watching the episode right now that aren't business owners, the stuff that Judge teaches also applies to you. If you're in a leadership position, or you have a passion, something that you or maybe want to do on the side, or even just in the position that you're in right now, he teaches different ways that you can scale your business no matter where you are. So I just want to clarify that real quick.
100%. How do you be a more effective manager?
Right. All of that stuff.
Be an entrepreneur.
And I love that stuff. But before we go too deep into that side, this is a morning show.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen and what I've read, all the different people that I've studied, I've yet to find one highly successful person that doesn't have an effective morning routine. What's your morning routine look like, Judge? What happens for you when you first wake up in the morning?
But I wake up, I'm constantly doing this. And somebody asked me this question the other day I constantly have ideas going, right? In my mind, they're nonstop. And what I do is no matter where I'm at, I capture those, right? Whether it's on the phone, I write it down. And then what I do is I prioritize it and I immediately start to take action, right? And I think that's the one thing that I do consistently. A great idea pops up. I could be asleep, dead sleep. I hop up, I'll email myself that idea right when I wake up. After I've kind of meditated or prayed and kind of just had some of my own time, I start immediately implementing those ideas. I mean, that's something I've done consistently as long as I've known.
Yeah, man. So first thing in the morning, you hit on a couple words there. So there's some me time first thing in the morning, right? Some time for meditation, some time for prayer, some time to be grateful for where we are right now, and then to also seek where we're headed in the future, which I notice that is a consistent trend, man. Got to have that time for ourselves first thing in the morning. So right now you're everywhere. Right now you're like incredibly visible, right? People see you right now. It's easy to find Judge Graham, which is awesome because the world needs more Judge Graham. But has it always been that way for you, man? Have you always been this like visible?
No, I haven't, man. I mean, I put my head down, through my whole adult life, and was building businesses and, really was not out there. I mean, I was out there in my sector, in my vertical, killing it with awards and winning business, but that was the focus, man. Listen, when I get focused, I get in, I tune in on it and just start grinding away at it. And so this second stint of my career is about, my purpose and my legacy. So the first half of my career was money. Right. I wanted to secure that. I wanted to get a couple of financial events. This second half is about purpose and legacy. Mm-hmm. And I believe that what Matt and I are doing are really helping people, right? I mean, there's some monetary there, but man, when you get a call from somebody that's been struggling and they're up 40% in their business and they're crying on the phone that you've changed their life and their family's life by giving them that structure and helping them leapfrog, dude, you can't buy that.
Right. No doubt.
You can't. So that's it for me, man. How do you leapfrog and how do you compress time? Because Glenn, both you and I know time is the most precious commodity. Mm-hmm. And if you can help compress time to give people their lives back, their families back, their time back, their money faster, that's the win.
Yeah, man.
For me, it is at least.
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000,000%. You have this drop dead gorgeous wife. You have these two beautiful, amazing kids. How do you balance all that, man? You're running around, you're doing the workshops, you're in the public eye, you've got your book, you've got your businesses, you're helping people, you're pouring into them. How do you make sure that your family never suffers along the way?
No, Glenn, I'm working on that because, man, I got to tell you, when I was first doing it, they did suffer.
Sure.
I mean, there was major sacrifice there. Now I try to balance it. The events I hold are 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Here in Texas, I'm very selective on, where I'm speaking, and I'm just trying to balance it. I'm doing things that I want to do versus have to do. And when you get in that position, it changes the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you there. That's something I'm currently working on. Like, I just had a workshop this past week here in Lexington because I was traveling dealer to dealer to dealer to dealer, and one day in store meant 3 days away from the family, right? A day to travel, a day in store, a day to get back. So I'm working on that at myself, is how can I use technology to stay closer to home, help more people, more cost effective for them, right? If I have a workshop here, I can charge dealers less to help them because I'm helping them in a group versus individual stores. And I think that's super important, man. I'm glad you touched on that. It says on your website, when you go to judgegraham.com, the very first thing it says is quickly scale your revenue, culture, and business value. How does this apply? Let's say I don't necessarily own a business. I'm in a business, maybe in a leadership position. Can I apply these same strategies, and can I scale internally, even if it's not necessarily my company?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a lot of these things, Glenn, is how do you make things simple, right? We get so caught up in the day-to-day of chaos, right? We have this thing in our face nonstop distracting us. I created this thing called the money sheet, right? And the money sheet is the 6 to 8 activities you're going to do that day. They're going to generate revenue, right? They're going to get you closer to that monthly or weekly target. And so a lot of the things that I implement and teach are structures and frameworks of how to remove the chaos, remove the noise, focus on the real priorities. How to properly set a goal, how to achieve that goal, how to assign ownership, how to manage people, how to build a culture around core values that empower your people, but then also benefit the customer. Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you create a niche? How do you create purpose? All these things apply to anybody. If you're running a division, if you're managing people, there's opportunity to optimize that. There's opportunity to get better frameworks, better structure, more focus, less noise.
Yes,
how many times anybody, watching this right now, if you're managing somebody, how many times in your day do you hear this? Hey, do you got a minute?
Yes, right? Sir.
And that just goes down this rabbit hole, and there's negativity. And I mean, there's so many things that can be fixed and better within business, and that's what I'm doing, man. I'm fixing them. I'm tired of seeing that chaos.
Man, this week on this show, #Rise and Grind, we've been talking about removing the clutter, removing the noise, removing the chaos, right? Removing the junk, and how freeing that is, how that opens up your mind to have time to be imaginative, to be creative, for new ideas to come in, and how important that is to kind of get that clean slate, right? You got to have that thriving environment. But I love that you touched on that. I also love that you touched on creating a culture without sacrificing the customer experience, right? Creating a winning culture. Right. How talk about that just a little bit more.
Now, listen, if you're in business and it's a for-profit business, you can never forget about the customer, right? The customer is the reason. Listen, Glenn, I have this statement. I said, "Where is my money?" Say it with me, Glenn. Where is my money? Right. So where is my money it's a concept. Think about this for a second. If you're an employee and you're thinking about every day, where is my money? Okay. Your money is by serving correctly the company and your team members and the customer. Okay, because if you do that effectively, guess what? The customer wins.
Right.
The customer gets their money,
Right.
or their revenue or their experience or whatever it is. And when the customer gets their money, then the company gets the money. Right. And it comes back, and it's this whole philosophy that's 360 of focus on the things that matter in the company, focus on the customer, focus on the revenue, and everything. Revenue in business cures everything. Mm-hmm. You start to fix that, you win.
No doubt. My man, listen, you're killing it, crushing it business-wise. Your strategies are amazing. You guys need to go get his book, Scale with Speed. You need to follow Judge Graham. You need to do all of these things. Clearly. I want to go back a little bit. Let's go back in time, though. All right, because you sold one of your businesses big time, right? Big. That was what, 2016, 2015?
Around there, yeah.
Yeah, you built this massive company, then you turned around and sold it. Now you're helping other people build their businesses, which is incredible. But I want to go. Sometimes people see all the success, right, and they don't don't necessarily know the hard times or the struggles kind of along the way. And so I'm going to do two things. I'm going to ask you it's a two-part question. We'll start with the first one, though. What was one of the worst moments of your life as you were on this path to get to where you are today? What is one of the worst moments of your life, and what did you learn from that?
You're going to make me tear up live on the show, man. I had to declare personal bankruptcy. I failed my first company, Glenn, and I'm recently married, right? I have a newborn, and I've got another child on the way. Right. And I'm dead broke, man. Mm-hmm. And, you've got a house payment, you've got, the mortgage, the car payments and all of that. And I've always had this dream of always being an entrepreneur, and here the company failed, and here I'm at a bankruptcy court, and I'm dead broke, man. And I've got, all this riding on my shoulders, in the responsibility I have for my family. And you just don't know what to do. You're just wounded, right? I mean, you want to crawl in a corner, and that's it.
Yeah, man.
And, my wife, and thank you for saying that, she is an amazing human being. She understood what's built in me that I had to do more than just a job. Mm-hmm. And, at that point, I talk a lot about, you got to burn the ships, right? What is that commitment? The ship is, you're on a ship, you come up to an island, there's 100,000 miles of water around that island. You dock that anchor, you get off, and now you can get back on and off the ship if you don't want to stay on the island.
Sure.
But when you turn that gas and light that match and burn that ship, you're committed. And that bankruptcy probably was the best thing for me, Glenn, because you know what, man, it committed us. There was no other option. And if we wanted to do this entrepreneur thing, I didn't have a plan B.
Right.
And so, my wife and I, we buckled down. I found another failing business with another business partner, and we took that on, and we just did it, man. We just put the work in necessary to grow it and scale it. And then, eventually we got to reap the reward from that. But you're right. Listen, everybody that's amazing in life, and I'm not claiming to be amazing, but the greats, the Michael Jordans, the Oprahs, the Steven Spielbergs, these people failed much more than they won. They had to burn the ships. They had to be told they weren't the best. They had to lose, right? And I believe my success is fundamentally fueled in all by that failure, right? So that was it, man. That was the darkest, right? And when you get to that point, there's no plan B. And I feel you have to lose at that level to know what it feels like, the pain, so you never have it happen again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's so much education in that pain, right? There's so much that we learn when we learn much more from failing than we do from winning, I think. Right?
Yeah, you totally do. And listen, for everybody listening here, we're caught up, Glenn, in this facade of social. Right? Now listen to what I'm about to say. This facade of social, people are more interested in the perception that they're putting out online than taking the actions to actually achieve the facade and the perception they're putting out there, because they're too scared socially to be seen as a failure. Right? This next journey I've done, you know, if you look at me a year and a half ago to my YouTube channel, it's me walking around like a crazy guy doing, you know, what I call the wisdom walks, and people are laughing at me. And, you know, I mean, but you know what? I pushed through it. You got to get out there. You got to get vulnerable. You've got to fail. You've got to do the things that you may feel that the perception isn't, you know, what you want. But listen, you got to live in the shit. You got to go through that to get to the real reality of what you're trying to perceive.
Yeah, man. Yeah. People too interested in the perception more than actually taking the actions to become that person that they want everyone to think that they are. I love that, man. I was listening to, shoot, what was I listening to the other day? I listen to so much, sometimes it's hard to keep track. But I was listening the other day, and they were saying, initially people think, when you said you were walking around in your YouTube video, it made me think of this saying. He said, when you're trying something new at first, everyone thinks that you're a quack, right? They look at you and they think that you're a lunatic. But then when it works, now all of a sudden you're a pioneer, right?
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, Glenn, it takes 10,000 hours, right? I mean, that book, right. It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. And again, I come back to Michael Jordan. How many shots did he take? How many times did he fail? How many teams was he cut from? But what's the continuity between all these successful people? They didn't care about failing.
That's right.
They just kept going. They took action. So anybody listen to this, if you feel like you're overweight, if your relationship isn't right, if you're not, your mind's not right with God, all these things, listen, don't be scared. Just take the action. Start.
Right.
Just start.
Amen, man. Just let's go. Let's go. I want to start something right now. I've been starting all kinds of stuff, and we're getting ready to start something huge on Black Friday that I know that you know about, but we can't tell anybody. But I'm super excited, and that's just one of those things, right? It's like let's just go. Let's see.
Glenn, I'm gonna use you as an example. And one, we've talked about this, man. You're an amazing human being.
Thank you.
What has Glenn done? One, Glenn has purpose, and he's giving back. But Glenn started. You committed, man. Listen, 5:30 every day. There's a sacrifice. Have you guys seen how beautiful and big Glenn's family is? That's a sacrifice. You committed. You didn't care. You started in a freaking closet, right? And you just kept pushing through your show. That, my friend, is the true definition of success.
Thanks, man. I really, really appreciate that, dude.
It is, dude. I mean, you're inspiring everybody, and you're doing it. I think people watching it, like you said, they always see the now. They don't understand the effort. Mm-hmm. And you got to do the effort. Yeah. You got to start. Yeah. No matter how and where it is, put down this persona and this facade that you think and just go do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking with a buddy of mine, Ryan Critch. He has a group called Marriage Movement that he just kind of got it started. Him and his wife have this passion for helping people in their marriage, right? Like they want people to thrive in their marriage. They're thriving in theirs. And we were talking yesterday, and I was just like, man, it's amazing what happens when you just stay consistent. Right?
Yeah.
Just show up. Like
just show up.
God will do incredible things. Like just show up. Like, and we were talking about my show a little bit, you know, it's like, I kind of got this call to do the show. And so we just started, like you said, in a closet, and I just kept showing up, and that has expanded to where now I get to spend time with amazing people like you. And, you know, right now there's 95 something people watching live, and there'll be thousands that will watch live. And really, I've just showed up. Like, I don't even know half the time what we're doing, but I'm just like, I'll be there. I'll be there at 5:30.
but listen, Glenn, what's amazing, I want people to understand in this is by you showing up, what happens? Every day it gets better. Every day you're providing more purpose. Every day you're learning how to use technology. I mean, I watched you. You're like a master. You figured the time out on this. I'm looking on Facebook. Am I getting a delay? Is it this camera? Is it that camera? Right? The only way you would have done that is consistency in failing when the camera doesn't work.
Right.
when the sound doesn't.
No doubt.
It's the consistency every single day it's showing up. So I think what we're trying to resonate with this audience is do whatever it is, show up, do it, just start and be consistent.
That's right. Show up, be there, listen to the call, and keep on rolling. Dude, you and I could probably talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Now, regretfully and purposely, we try to make sure to value people's time first thing in the morning because I'm a big fan of that morning routine and how it really sets the tone for the day. So we're going to have to go. My gosh, I have so many questions I want to know.
Bring them. I'll do them fast. Let's go. Let's hit it. Come on, man. Let's go. I want to get them.
Okay, we're going to get through them.
I'll go fast.
All right, we'll go fast. For those of you that have to hop out of here, if you have to hop out, I understand. If you've got to get to the gym and you got to get your workout on and you got to get your time in, I get it 100%. No hard feelings. Hop out, do your thing. For those of you that are staying here with me and Judge Graham right here, right now, because I'm going to ask him a few more questions. If you haven't done so already, hit the share button, dude. Hit the share button because this is valuable stuff. Somebody needs to hear it, and you hitting share just might change their life. Think about that. One share could change somebody's life. I get messages every single day from people whose lives were changed because somebody invited them to the group or somebody hit the share button and it showed up in their feed. You can be that person. All right, we talked about the worst moment in your life.
Yeah.
Now I want you to share with me what was one of the best moments of your life and why.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my children being born and being married, those things. But when you look at like when I staying in that same failing the first business and then exiting the first one, right? I mean, that day that wire transaction hit the bank account, that day that I helped, tons of people that believed in myself and my business partner and made them a lot of money. And that day that I was able to give to my family, which I never thought was possible, that day that the financial advisor called my wife and gave her the number and she almost wrecked the car, that day.
How many digits were in that wire transfer?
There's a lot. That first one was an 8-digit wire transfer.
8 digits. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. I need an 8-digit wire transfer. I can see why she almost wrecked the car. So from bankruptcy to 8-digit wire transfer, what was that time frame?
That time frame was less than 6 years.
That's amazing, man. In less than 6 years, you went
and now,
from
mind
bankruptcy
you,
to
in the
8-digit wire transfer. God.
Yeah, and the company that we took over was $1 million in debt and had less than $600,000 in revenue.
Wow.
And we took on no debt because we couldn't. We had no credit. We had nobody believed in us.
Right.
And,
And you guys just did it anyway.
We just did. We showed up, brother, every day.
Showed up
every day.
It's amazing, man. I think people, I think we all tend to do this. I think we all tend to think like time is a weird thing for people, right? Like what seems so far away is here before we know it. And then what seems like would take forever can actually be done in a short period of time. If we just put in the work, if you just get relentless about it, right? Like 6 years is not that long at all. 6 years is not a very long time. And to be able to go from nothing, zero, bankrupt to 8 digits, man, congratulations. And to be able to help so many people. That's the best part, is being able to serve and help so many people by doing so. Your win led to wins for so many others. And that's my friend Janelle Delgado. That's what she always talks about. Like, who loses if you don't win, right? If you don't go do it, think about all the people that lose because you didn't win, man. But now you're winning. You continued to win. I'm glad your wife didn't wreck the car. That would have been devastating. That would have been a tough day, right? You get an 8-digit wire transfer and your wife wrecks the car all the same day. You're mixed emotions. You're probably like, screw it. I'll just buy another car at that point. Hey, Judge, I got to ask you, man, did you, or do you, even still to this day, like, did you ever reach a point where you were like just really super like terrified or scared, but you kind of did it anyway? Or do you still, is there ever times now where you're just like kind of scared to make the move, to take the
Always.
action.
Always, man. Always. Listen, if you don't have that fear that there's an issue, right? You're not making big enough moves. You're not taking big enough calculated risk. Listen, that's part of it. The minute that I don't get butterflies, something's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing. People got to realize, I mean, no matter what level, there's always another level. And if you're not feeling that, you've lost it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And I had read that before. When I first started speaking more, I was doing more research on speakers and so on and so forth. And one of the things that I picked up, I think it was Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins said, if you don't have butterflies in your stomach right before you take the action, then you don't care enough. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's not, then what you're delivering is just bland. It's flat. There's no passion behind it. You just don't care enough. But when you care, like Les Brown, dude, Les Brown, we're going to have Les Brown here on the show here one of these days coming up soon. But like Les Brown has told the same story.
Yeah.
16 million times over the last, I mean, he's been a speaker for, golly, he's been speaking
30 years?
30 plus, right? 30 plus
yeah.
years. He tells the story, and every time he tells the story, he cries.
Yeah, man,
And it's authentic, man. It's not a fake cry. It's not a staged cry. This isn't I'm an actor, Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman cry. I've met this guy. I've been in the room. You cry. He cries. You cry. It's a real cry, right?
Yeah.
And that passion, that passion is there. And along with passion, there's always fear. Fear of looking stupid, fear of making a mistake, fear of failure. And I think a lot of times people think, well, they let the fear stop them, right?
Yeah.
And the key,
and most human beings have empathy, right? So, as the speaker or in that position, you've got to realize that most people up there, admire you because you have the courage to do it, and they have empathy if something goes wrong, right? So those, try not to put, I would counsel people, don't put as much pressure on. You should still have the butterflies, but most human beings have empathy.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And what's crazy as a speaker is when something does go wrong, doesn't it feel like it takes like 10 minutes to fix whatever went wrong, and then I'll go back and watch the tape and it was like 5 seconds.
Yeah. It's an eternity.
It feels like an eternity when you're in the moment. It's funny, man. All right, cool. Listen, we are running over, and so we're gonna do something real fun right now.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna put you up on top of a mountain. All right. We got Judge Graham. Judge Graham's up on top of a mountain, in all of civilization, literally everyone is down at the bottom, and they're cheering. They're like, Judge Graham, Judge Graham, Judge Graham, Judge Graham. You can hear them, right? Judge Graham, Judge Graham. And they're like, they got like the glow sticks, and people are fireworks are popping off, and there's confetti, and all the cameras, and all the lights, and everything's flashing. And you've got 2 minutes, dude. You've got literally 2 minutes to drop some wisdom on them, some nugget, some practical application that they can apply in their life today, tomorrow, next week, in the future, that's going to make an impact on their destiny. What are you going to tell them?
I'm going to tell them to start. I'm going to tell whatever that thing is that you constantly talk about at the dinner party, whatever that dream you've always had as a kid. And in every month, 6 months passes, a year passes, you have the same conversation again. Oh, I'd be so great at this. What if I did this? What if? Start. That's the advice. Man, I would be so much better for my family if I was in shape. Start today. Start right now, right? Whatever. I want to do a business. I want a podcast, whatever it is, block out that fear, take action, and start. I mean, it's that simple, Glenn. I mean, I would tell them from the rooftop, whatever you want, or the mountaintop, whatever it is, stop procrastinating it. Stop overthinking it. Stop trying to plan it. Just start.
Love it, man. I love it. Judge, honestly, man, you clearly are a child of God. Uniquely made by the God of the universe to be the absolute best version of yourself that you can be, and you're doing it, bro. You're out there doing it. And all these decisions that you're making, these books that you're writing, and the videos that you post, the podcasts that you do, the decisions that you make with your children, with your wife, with your family, all these decisions, they're making an impact, bro. They're making an impact, obviously, clearly on your friends, your family members, your coworkers. And this morning, you've made a massive impact on me and on this group. And I, for one, bro, I absolutely love you for it, man. I do.
I love you too, but man.
Absolutely stinking love you. So do me a favor. Would you hang on for just a second? I'm going to pop over to the other people here in hashtag Rise and Grind. I'm going to let them go for the day, I think, if I can figure this out. I'm going to let them go for the day, and then I'm going to come back to you. So don't go anywhere. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Hey, if you guys love Judge Graham, make sure you follow him. If you love Judge Graham, make sure you share this episode. Make sure you do all of those things. He's an incredible human being. Listen, friends, what do you teach us, man? What did we learn today? Mike Brockway, did you take notes? We just got to start, man. We just got to start. Be consistent. Show up every single day. Do the thing that gives you the butterflies in your stomach that you're passionate about, even though it's scary. Find a way to create a culture where you still serve others in the best way humanly possible. And it doesn't take as long as you think. It's not going to take forever. Make the change today. You have no idea what could happen in your life just 6 years from now. Maybe it's 4 years for you. Maybe it's 2 years. Maybe it's like my friend BG Campbell, who decided to make the change where she decided to wake up every day and do the morning 5 for 30 days. And that 30-day decision completely changed the course of her life. Let's go, my friends. The world needs you. Who loses if you don't win? This weekend, there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to lose if we don't all come together this weekend for this Facebook Live-a-thon. There are children, there are young women all around the world right now that are being abused, that are in slavery, that are being taken advantage of, that are not given the opportunities that you and I have. And we are going to do something about that this weekend. So I want you to make sure you stay tuned, make sure you join in, make sure you're sharing, you're commenting, you're donating, all of those things. It's going to be amazing. Keep your eyes out. This weekend, starting Saturday at 7, going till Sunday at 7. And let's come together as a group. Let's come together as a tribe. Let's come together as a bunch of amazing individuals that have opportunities to learn and grow from people like Mr. Judge Graham this morning. Let's come together. Let's do something powerful and impactful. Let's make a difference in the world, because that's what we do. Listen, if you need more videos like this, you can go to GlennLundy.com. If you need some Rise and Grind gear, you can go to GlennLundy.com. You can get that stuff there too. But most importantly, will you do me a huge favor? Will you have an incredible, amazing, over-the-top, spectacular weekend? Be the absolute best version of yourself that you can be. Go out there and make an impact on this planet, and then come back here Monday morning, right? Come back here Monday morning. We're going to do this all over again on hashtag Rise and Grind. Deuces! Have a great day! Uh-oh. Wait a minute. You hear that?